Hey everyone, this is Bobo. I'm here to do a video on Mabinogi's new update for the Royal Association of Artisans. Like Royal Alchemist, this update now adds 3 artisans to the Royal Institution, so let's go to the Mabinogi website and check out what they are. Okay, it's been nearly 9 years since I've done my video on Royal Alchemist, so this long-awaited update is finally here. If you guys haven't checked out my old 101 video on Royal Alchemist, please do. I'll provide you guys the link. Basically, they are now adding 3 artisans that have the same concept as Royal Alchemist, but with different perks. There is the Royal Blacksmith that requires Dan 3 smithing to apply, the Royal Tailor that requires Dan 3 tailoring, and the Royal Enchanter that requires rank 1 enchanting. There are only 80 spots for each category of Royal Artisans, while now the Royal Alchemists have increased their spots to 150. Be sure to look at this Mabinogi website for more information on the Royal Associations of Artisans, since I'm mostly just going to be summarizing everything in this video. You'll clearly notice that the bonus perks for the Royal Artisans are basically geared towards their craft. Blacksmiths would have blacksmithing success rate of 3% and a 1% blacksmith quality. Tailors would have tailoring success rate of 3% and +1 tailoring quality, and enchanters would have enchant success rate of 10% and enchant burn success rate of 3%. There's a lot more bonuses when using production or enchantment skills, so again, be sure to read the site for more info. You also can only apply and hold one type of Royal Artisan or Royal Alchemist position, so think carefully about the one you want to apply for, and let's get started. Just like Royal Alchemist, your journey to become a Royal Artisan begins with Sinneed in the reception room in Tara's Wrath Royal Castle. When talking to Sinneed and choosing the option Royal Institution, this menu will pop up. Here you can get more info on the Royal Institution, view how many points you currently have, see the current list of Royal Artisan and Alchemist, retrieve missions to gain Royal points, read on what criteria you need to be selected, see the schedule, which is basically Thursday when they decide who will become Royal Alchemist or Artisan, and apply or withdraw from your application. You will also be able to obtain your Royal Alchemist outfit from Sinneed if you become a Royal Alchemist. Just know that Royal Artisans, as of this date, currently don't have a special outfit like Royal Alchemists. Once you apply to be a Royal Artisan or Alchemist, you will receive a Royal Notebook. It will show your application status, current total Royal points, and how many points you have from your journal entries, online time in-game and in the Royal Castle Banquet, and from completing Royal missions. You can also view the Royal Institution representatives, which are basically the players in-game that were accepted to be a Royal Alchemist, Enchanter, Tailor, or Blacksmither. You'll be able to see just how many points each player had in order to be accepted in the 80 slots for Artisan or 150 slots for Royal Alchemist. Shout out to our guild leader Zerich for placing the top 3rd Royal Enchanter in our server. Funny enough, we really needed this update so bad because a week before this update, my guildmate tried to enchant Eerie and literally failed so much to the point that the scroll went down to 0%. I mean, let that sink in for a moment, guys. This is a screenshot proof of $150 worth of enchant protection and 400 mil gold wasted. It was so sad, we ended up making a song about it, and you can actually find it in the link in the description below. But anyways, the last option in the notebook is to receive the Royal missions that will help you gain Royal points throughout the week until they choose the next set of Royal Alchemists and Artisans on Thursdays. If you are already accepted, you will need to upkeep your points, otherwise you may not be selected during the next round if another player has more points than you. These missions will be a combination of beginner, intermediate, or advanced difficulties. Each of the difficulties also have a cap to the amount of points you can get, so try your best to complete them before Thursday. The missions will vary depending on what you're applying for, so here are some examples. Some of the missions will complete automatically, but there are some that you will need to go directly to Sydney to turn in, and once you do that, you would be able to obtain another mission as long as you're not capped. If you've reached your cap for all the missions, the only way to get more points that will stay permanently is to complete journal points. To find your journal entries, go to your character window and click on journal. There will be many categories of journal entries you can complete, but please remember that there are lots of entries that will not show up unless you trigger them. A good way to do a good amount of journal points is to complete all the difficulties of the shadow missions and dungeons and finish your generation quests and pursue bandits. I highly recommend you guys check the Mabinogi wiki website if you're wondering what journal entries you need to unlock. There are lots of journal entries out there, and unfortunately Mabi does not show the ones that are missing for all of them. I mean, it shows for some, but not all. On Thursday, you'll get a mail notice from Sinid whether you've been accepted or not as a Royal Alchemist or Artisan. If you've been accepted, you'll notice that you'll be receiving many perks right away. One of the new perks for a Royal Artisan is the idle pose while holding their craft tool. For Royal Enchanters, if you hold a magic powder, they'll do this pose my character is doing, basically holding a scroll in their hand. For Royal Blacksmiths, they will have their hand on their hip while holding their blacksmith hammer. This one is not as noticeable, but if you compare my character with my husband Cloudstripe in the background, he is a Royal Blacksmither and you can see his pose is different. For Royal Tailor, they'll have a little pin cushion on their wrist. I low-key had to be a creep and stalk this person just to be able to show you guys the pose, but basically that's what it looks like. Another new perk is that your party recruitment signs will now be different from players that are not Royal Alchemist or Artisan. It will be a more maroon color with the Royal Institution logo. You will also notice that your character's chat bubble will have a Royal Institution logo on it. Didn't see it? Look again. It will show up on the upper left of the bubble. Another nice new perk you will get to use to show off that you're a Royal Alchemist or Artisan is the special Stardust Skin you can use. Go to your Stardust and change the look of your Stardust, and at the bottom of the list you will find the Stardust Skin given to you. This is how the Stardust looks like. When you switch your Stardust, it will use the Stardust color scheme that you already have, and it'll look just like this. Here is also how it looks like in its various stages. But the best perk of all is definitely the title that you will receive. Each Royal Artisan will receive a special title with bonus stats for their craft that I mentioned in the beginning of this video. Please note that you will unlikely be able to use any of these perks anymore if you do not maintain your points to stay as a Royal Alchemist or Artisan. And that is my 101 video for Mabinogi's Royal Association of Artisans. Thanks everyone for watching my video. Please leave any comments in the video below if you have any questions. I hope that those get accepted. Otherwise, like always guys, please stay awesome.